Just a small notice, I will be recording this session because we have some Uppsala.js hackers who couldn't make it, and they wrote to me on Facebook and asked me to record it. So just a notice that the audio is being recorded. Can you guys in the back hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, so as I said, my name is Anders. I work here at Kaspeco as the CTO. And by day I'm CTO, which means that I try to do as much useful things as possible. That includes a lot of research, research technology, find out what can make my team more efficient, and kind of be, try to make everything more pleasant for all the employees. But by night I kind of switch. By night I have a hobby, and I build silly things for the internet. I would argue that one thing that these two, being very useful by day and building silly things at night, they have at least one thing in common, and that's learning, which is kind of my passion. I really like to learn, and that's why I really like my job here at Kaspeco, because I get to research new technology and research new ways to build stuff. And that's the name of this talk. It's called Silly Things That You Can Do But Probably Shouldn't in HTML5 and the Browser. And you will probably learn something new. I think I can guarantee that you will learn something new, but I won't guarantee that it will ever be useful. As far as your employer might be concerned, this talk could go to dev null, which makes me a bit worried because there's tons of Kaspeco employees here. But yeah. And but I would also argue that when you're on when you're learning something and you're on this kind of adventure or journey, you never know where you might end up. And this talk is based on a blog post that I wrote about 2 years ago, and it's about content editable, the HTML attribute content editable. How many here are front-end developers, by the way? Hands up. Hi. Okay, so how many knows about content editable? See, you guys will learn something new. Excited. Right, so content editable is a HTML attribute, and it makes the content inside an element editable. So normally, when you input data into the browser, you will need an input field or a text area. And content editable. Oh yeah, also I'm live coding a lot. You never have as fat fingers as when you're standing in front of a crowd. So just yell and scream and wave when you see me typing an error. Yes. Also, small trick, by the way. If you want, this is a npm package called HTTP server. If you want a really a low ceremony, static file type server, it's a great way to just be able to host localhost 8080. Right. So we added content editable, and we will write hello world, and it would show up just like a regular div. The difference is that I can edit this div inside the browser. So I can type Uppsala.js. Can you guys see? Yeah, everybody can see that. And you could do this to be some useful stuff. Maybe you're building a complex interface. Maybe it looks like a spreadsheet. We have some use like that at Kaspeco. You can use content editable to make the cells editable instead of changing it to an input field when the user clicks at it or something. So a bit more convenient, kind of useful. And normal people would just stop there and use it because that's the way it should be used. But normal is kind of boring. So let's be a bit unnormal. And the second thing that I want to show you that's weird inside the browser is that you can actually I don't know if you knew about this, but you can actually style your head tag. So this is the head tag in my document. Like, you probably don't want to show it, but like, if you can style it, well, maybe you could also make the title of your DOM editable. I don't know if you can see in the back, but yeah. You can live edit your title. I have no idea when this would be useful. If you come up with a case for this to be useful, like, please tell me. I'm very interested.
I have one.
You have one?
Yes. Imagine you're doing a document or something you can edit in form. Wouldn't it be great to see the title on top always?
True.
And why save the title twice? And
Right.
do some JavaScript thingy.
Yeah, you can just store your data inside the title.
Yes, it's
I'll just redo this talking called like how to store data in the title tag. Super useful. So yeah, and so I discovered these kind of quirks, and I thought maybe if you're able to style your head tag, maybe you're also able to style your style tag. Yeah. You can render your styles inside the browser. So how many people think they know where this is going? Let's get rid of this. And then maybe we'll add, like, let's see if we can make this work. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you think this will work? Yes! Right? This is crazy. Like, can we do like text shadow? My God. So, I don't know if you can see this, but we'll just lower it. And I mean, we can play around with this. This is probably the second slightly useful thing you will learn tonight, because this is what this is where my blog post ended. Like, this is kind of useful. Let's say you're writing an article or a blog post, and you show off like CSS examples. Maybe you like talk about and then you like how to do border box or content box or flex layout, and your readers could actually manipulate like your demo inside your blog post. So, like, it's slightly useful. You don't need to use like JS bin or these other like editors online, right? The sandbox editors. You can just put content editable on the style tag. And unnormal people would just stop here. Like, they kind of like, they give an HTML like a hit to the chest, and that would be it. But let's like, unnormal is a bit boring. And this is Uppsala.js, so let's be a bit weird. So if you can style and make your style tag editable, maybe we could also render our script tag. So let's put in a console.log hello world, and I'll just change this in the browser. Right, this is still editable. Oh, I forgot. Content editable. Why didn't you guys scream? Right, let's bring up the console so you can see what's going on. It writes hello world, so let's change this to live inside our browser, mind you. Uppsala.js. No! Like the first epic fail of the evening. So it turns out the browser doesn't reevaluate your script tags when you're changing them with content editable. I would consider this a bug, and I would like to file a ticket for the WebKit team to change this, or the Blink team, which the like VA team maybe, to fix this, or go patch it yourself. But we can work around this. So let me just grab this small snippet of code. I'm just going to replace that. And let me walk. Tack Nisse. That's the alarm, by the way. It's going to sound great in the recording. So this isn't like a lot of code. So what it does, it just gets the script tag by name. It gets the first one, and then it's itself, right? And then on blur handler, we evaluate the inner text of the script tag. So let's try this again. It says hello world. And it says Uppsala.js. It actually works. So what we're doing right now, like, let me remind you, we're live coding JavaScript and style tags inside the browser, which really means that we won't be using this window anymore. We'll stick here. And then let's make the color red again. Let's make the background black. We'll zoom back out in Chrome. Yes, this is really small, so you guys can't see it, but don't worry, because I can change the font size here. Maybe a bit more. Let's do 30 pixels. Let's also make this a bit bigger. Font size 25 pixels. It still looks a bit terrible, so let's add white space pre. It honors white spaces. Also, let's add white space pre. And this is a slight inconvenience when you're working inside the browser. It's really sensitive to enter signs. So when you go back home and you start doing this, always press Shift Enter. That's the only way. Otherwise, Chrome will insert a div in the middle of your style tag and everything will just explode in your face. And I mean, we could just keep on building stuff. We can build our JavaScript application and build our page here, but like there's something missing, I think, and that's actually like our JavaScript. We don't have monospace. We don't have a monospace font, but maybe we could fix that. Maybe we can get like fonts.google. Let's get a nice monospace font to program in. I'll pick it from here. Like the Inconsolata one. How many of you use Google Web Fonts, by the way? Right, it's quite nice, right? Really convenient. And I mean, if we were building things as normal, we would just get this link tag, and maybe we could insert in our content editable head. I tried that. It didn't work, unfortunately. But it actually, like the example says, you can add your import in your style tag. So I think they are actively encouraging us to program in this way. But then again, this is Uppsala.js, so we prefer JavaScript. So let's have some JavaScript do this for us. And then let's go back here. Let's get in here and then copy paste that in. So this will kind of look in our style tag to see if we're already importing something. Otherwise, it will import a nice font for us. So let's run that on Blur. It adds, and boom. Now we have super delicious monospace font in our dev environment, in our new dev environment. So like, forget about installing fonts on your computer. This is the way to do it. And I kind of like this combination of like how the script tag is working with the style tag, which then styles the script tag again. I like that like dynamic feeling we get. So maybe we can do like have the script tag kind of do some more dynamic things for us. Maybe we can have it print to console log. So let's add some small snippet of JavaScript. Shift Enter, mind you, very important. And then we'll add in the bottom of our style tag, say, hello, Uppsala.js people. Ta-da! So now when we write in our style tag, it actually prints stuff to the console log. And like I saw a few people smiling and thought like, hey, that's cool. Like I know you're just smiling out of courtesy. Like this isn't very impressive because, I mean, CSS is all about styling. It's all about being making things pretty, right? So let's see if we can solve that too. Let's get a slightly more complex version of our say script. And now let's make this pretty. So let's do like font size, I don't know, 50 pixels. Let's follow the example. Color purple. And then let's go with a sassy text shadow of 5 pixels, 5 pixels, 10 pixels, red. And then let's run it. What? So the code that we wrote in our script tag inside the DOM, it used the style tag, and now we're printing to the console log with the CSS that we wrote inside the browser. Like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And so I said, like, the bad thing, like, this is very powerful. We can just like continue building stuff. As I said, like it's a bit sensitive. So like if I would just press enter, I'm up with in the style tag. If I would just press enter, like everything is kind of gone. Especially like if I press enter here or like even more up. There's no going back now. Like the undo features in Chrome is really shitty for this type of development. But like, don't worry, I actually I brought a small backup with me. So maybe you can't really see, it doesn't really matter. So this is a page that I entirely, I wrote it entire in the browser. I started the exact same way that we started here, right? And I wrote this, and we could do, we can just keep changing the whole page. We can make it yellow. And I thought, I kind of this was a couple of days ago, and I thought, right, weird people would just stop here. But weird is not cool enough. I want to be cool, not only weird. So let's be gangsters. I'm just gonna close this down. So let's be gangsters. So I thought this, if I could style the console log by writing CSS inside the browser, I wonder what else I can do with console log. Could I maybe also loop a GIF inside your console when you visit my page? Yeah, sure I can. And I'm gonna do it. Again, please tell me when you will find this to be very useful. I have had trouble coming up with it. As one would be to have a really clever work ad. If you're building something online and you want to hire JavaScript hackers, do this. Well, not this, but something similar. And that GIF is from a movie, and I think it kind of rhymes with the usefulness rating of it. It's questionable, right? And I was doing this, and I was on this kind of learning journey that we are here tonight, and I thought, well, another movie I like is Inception. So I thought maybe I too can be a bit of Christopher Nolan and do something a bit inspired by him. So I went back to the page I'd written and thought, well, if I can render a GIF in the console, could I maybe, just maybe, render my entire site back into the console? Sure enough, I can. this took some experimenting to do. I think maybe we have some more time. We have 8 minutes. Would you like to see like just a quick peek on how you would render your entire web page back into the console? This works with like any web page. It's not like, well, you can do this with your like online portfolio, or maybe we do it with Caspecto's online software. It's super useful. So this is the page, and I saved the CSS just so I would be able to come back to it. And this is like, you saw this JavaScript. It's the exact same. Like we have the say script, and we can make it pretty. And then I added this. So I added a canvas. Turns out canvas and SVG is really, really powerful stuff. So what I do, just really shortly, is that I create a canvas, I get the canvas, then I create a SVG, like kind of okay object, and then I put entire HTML inside of it, and that content wrap is just this div. Oops. So let's go. Yeah, and then I do some magic with images. No. I use the XML serializer to serialize the SVG string, and then I turn that string into a base 64 encoded data, and then I have an image with the source as a base 64 URL. I add encoded data, and on load, this was not quite like, this wasn't easy, guys. You're like, oh yeah, I knew about that. And then I take the image when it loaded, I draw it back into the canvas, I turn the canvas to a data URL with a base 64, and then I console log it, and this is the magic trick. Like %C. That allows you to add a second string containing some CSS styling to your console log statements. So I add that second base 64 encoded URL as the background of what I print, and then I print a ridiculously large X. And that renders your entire web page inside the console log. Like, with no like console.printscreen or like something else. This is just a normal console log, write one like string. And I think that that's even where Christopher Nolan would end. So let's just like reset this to like index.html. Let's bring up the console. And like with that really like fast intro to like diving deep into the weird things of what you can do but probably shouldn't in a browser, I just would like to say thank you for listening. Questions? Yeah, that's it. You can bend your browser to do most of the things it shouldn't do, right? I don't know if this is in the spec yet. If you want to see like more and like go through this in a bit more humane pace, it's all on GitHub. It's at github.abergs.com, and then the repo is called Silly Things You Can Do in HTML5, and it includes my manuscript. So like if you want to replay, you can. Yeah, thank you.